everybody, and welcome to our fourth Sonic Boomcast. This is one as the Sizzle before the boom. It's our last episode before all the Sonic Boom stuff gets released in the next 3 weeks. And with us tonight, we got a gal whose love for Sonic and Shadow is illegal in 48 states, Miss Ladice Garcia.
Hello.
And next up is a man who's starring with Adam Sandler in The Wedding Photographer, this Christian Gausing.
Hello. Stay calm, people. Let me shoot you. It's okay, I'm a photographer.
And next up is a man whose love of Foxy is legal in all 50 states, Tanner Bates.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, we got you good.
Anyway, that one confuses me because he's basically a monster in Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's furries for you.
Awkward silence. All right, and the first up, of course, on the last episode was just before Sonic Boom was about to start, but Sonic Boom the event, of course, is here and gone. And Tanner has been to the event. I think he was the only one out of our group that got to go. Would you like to talk?
Lucky.
Would you like to talk about it, Tanner?
Sure. Let's see. Let me pick up my notes right here. The first thing I noticed was, it's the first time the venue is like upstairs. You had to go up. They actually escorted everyone into elevators in like groups of 15, and you would be released into the ballroom to, frolic and do all your Sonic things. And first thing you did was you were given swag bags. This year they weren't quite as awesome as previous years because they didn't have shirts, they didn't really have figures, they didn't really have anything.
No bobbleheads, eh?
Yes, they gave you a poster and a placard, and the same bag that they've been handing out at the last 5 million gaming events this year. But I think it was good, though, because, they did give you a lot of content to make up for it. First thing I did was I went to the line to get an autograph from Tracy. Well, actually, I wanted to buy some of his prints, but unfortunately, he wasn't separating lines for prints and commissions. He was taking on the spot, so even though I was the fifth person in line, I was only right next to him when the show was about to start, so I had to lead the line, unfortunately. But as for autographs, I didn't really bother with that either, because that was, oh boy, that was insane. You had 30 minutes to get to every person except Mike Pollock, who was available for an hour, and a very common experience was you would get right close to the autograph booth before the voice actor or whoever would switch out with someone else. As for the positive aspects, I thought that the musical performances were great. They had Tomoya Otani and Jun Sonoe performing throughout the whole show. They were performing beats like, what was it? They did the Deadly Six theme, so I'm assuming that next year they'll probably get Richard Jacks, for Sonic Boom music. But near the end, they had Ted Poley and Tony Harnell, perform live together for, I'm pretty sure it's the first time, or not, but, they did We Can, they did both versions of It Doesn't Matter, They surprised us by doing a cover of the Sonic Boom song from Sonic CD, so that was pretty awesome. As for the content of the show itself, Mike Pollock and the other voice actors, they were just awesome. They have one where, What Was Eggman Thinking, where Mike Pollock was putting lines to random things.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was funny.
Yes, which culminated in Eggman saying that he had finally managed to twerk, and that was, I never thought I'd hear those words out of Mike Pollock's mouth, but what do you know? And they had all 6 voice actors perform a live reading of several scenes from several episodes. I think the best one was probably the one where the whole team finds Amy's fan fiction and reads it out loud. It was great. Even if Knuckles he's gone completely into stupid territory.
Yeah, we found out quite a few things from those readings.
Yeah, and
characters.
As for, how the show was pulled off, Stephen Frost was an excellent host. I think he's a great successor to Aaron Weber in that regard. As for the content that I'm sure everyone's really interested in, the cartoon and the video game reveals, we finally were given our date for the show coming out on November 8th, and as for the video game footage, Shadow appeared, and there was this huge sudden cheer from the entire crowd. And I'm not sure if they were cheering because Shadow appeared or because Sonic was beating the crap out of him in that same clip, but, probably a little bit of both. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell, I think.
Yeah, I was going to talk about a little bit about those voice readings they did. I actually like the Universal Translator one the best.
That was great.
Yeah, there's some great lines in that. Like Knuckles is all, "Calm down, Sticks." It says, the little robot says, "Take it easy, whack job." That made me laugh really hard. And I'm sorry.
And then there was the part where it almost confessed Amy's love for Sonic.
Yeah, that's one thing. We finally found out what exactly the relationship aspect is for Amy and Sonic in this, because I was a little worried they were going to go like the Sally route, and she was going to be this strong, independent woman in that kind of, and she wasn't going to be her like teenage girly self. But at least instead of her constantly chasing Sonic and glomping on her, and that her crush on him is just a secret that she's keeping to herself.
And then it turns out that Sonic likewise has a secret crush on her, but he keeps it.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. It's Sonic actually does like her this time as well. Except like when Knuckles is saying, "Oh, it looks like Amy's on a date," he actually freaked out for a second, then caught his cool real quick. Like he's like, "What? I mean, that's cool. Why should I care?"
I'm a sucker for those kind of romance.
Yeah. Then the only bad part I think most people are a little upset is that Knuckles is going to be pretty much the really stupid one in this.
Distracted by shiny objects.
Yeah. But I'm going to be taking advantage of that in my writing when I start doing some more writing. But I mean, yeah, they're a little bit of a different character. It's a different adaptation. You got to expect that kind of thing. The rest of them did a great voice acting. What's funny is Nika Futterman, who does Styx. Her voice is the most cartoony, I think, out of the whole cast, but her other roles include, like, the animated version of Gamora that you'd see on any Disney XD cartoons like Spider-Man and the Avengers. And she's also was the voice of Asani Ventress in the Clone Wars, and that was a much more deep, sultry voice. So I'm surprised she's got that kind of range. That's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, it's always pretty impressive to see the range that some voice actors are. You're like, whoa, that was the same voice actor? You're kidding me.
Right. Yeah,
I think I actually looked onto her, and she also did the voice for the Kid Icarus Uprising game.
Oh, she did a few voices in there?
Yeah, only one, what was her name?
Was that the little girl god?
No, it's not her. It's the other one. It's the, what was her name?
It's not Palutena, right?
No, it's not. It's not. It's, right on top of my head. It's like, she has no body. And it's just like a
Medusa one, or?
It's like a big ball of gas or something like that. Flame. A blue flame. What was her name?
I don't know. That game was so long, I ended up not finishing it, but I played like 10 hours or more worth of it.
Hey, Chris, do you remember her name?
It's not coming to mind.
What was her name?
You can always look it up on Wikipedia, I can imagine.
Yeah.
One thing that surprises me is the tone of the show is a fair amount different from like the tone of the video game Rise of Lyric. I mean, they're still making jokes in that game, but it's got much more of a a darker epic adventure feel to that game. Where, as in the show, it's just like wacky situation comedy, one after another, more silly. I mean, there is action scenes in that, but it's it never takes itself seriously. It seems like.
I think that what they're going for is the show is meant for kids, while the game is meant for a slightly more older audience overall.
Or maybe for both,
Yeah.
They're trying to still appeal to the more hardcore gamer crowd. You get them in. I guess that's probably what it is.
That's a greater challenge right there.
Yeah, it's starting to feel more like it's going to be like a licensed game style than a major Sonic game on that. Speaking of, there are some new screenshots for the Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric that just came out a few days ago. Now they're finally confirmed some of the weapons and vehicles that are included in the game. And some of them are pretty neat. It's starting to give me like a Ratchet and Clank vibe to the whole thing.
Tanner, that's your division.
Yeah, they got a 4-man boat. So, like when you're doing co-op, I guess their area is it a 2-player game, or is it a 4-player game? Co-op.
They haven't really shown off the co-op. That's what surprises me.
Yeah, I know. Every demo you go to, I was waiting for a co-op version. I never really saw it, but the boat is a 4-man boat where one person steers and the other 3 are gunners. So that looks kind of interesting. It's called I had it here, the Angler.
They had Knuckles as the driver, so that's not good.
The Angler is the submarine. I'm sorry.
Nothing is ever too good with
Battle
Knuckles.
Boat is what the boat's called. The Angler is this Phantom Menace kind of submarine. That's a 2-person submarine boat. So, co-op's cut in half there. But you could see in the screenshots the Guardians from the Sonic and Amy level. They've been showcasing her in there. It's a shooter section underwater, which is you've never seen that in a Sonic game. That's the one thing I'm really interested in about this game is it's so different from any Sonic game I've ever played. And let's see, they show off some of the weapons. There's a feather blade that shoots out small feathers when it's swung at it. There's a powerful, short-range weapon that's a trumpet that Sonic can blare out. It's just called the Battle Trumpet, like Battle Boat. A cyclone generator that shoots out twisters and tornadoes. An explosion switch that just blows everything up. One that's a handgun that shoots out a cartoon hand that looks like something out of a Mickey Mouse Toontown. That's a little crazy. And then the final is just a water balloon for some of the robots to short circuit them with. Because, they're made up of old tech. You might have actually seen some of these in action because during the Sonic and Amy one, there's one area where you're battling where there's a random weapon laying on the floor that you can use just once against one of the enemies. This was at E3 and it was also at the Comic-Con and GameStop. But it's funny though, every time I played it would either be there or it would not. It would be random. I've played the trumpet one and I think I played the feather one before too. So I don't know if it's just a one-use weapon or you get to hold on to it for a while. In demos, they were just one use. And they show off some more environments, a jungle area, windmill type, could be the hub area. And the one that looks pretty graphically impressive, this looks like one of Eggman's factories or something with lasers going off in that. And that one's pretty visually impressive. And the screenshots overall are making the game look a lot better than when people were saying it looked like a PS2 game in that. It doesn't have that feeling anymore.
Yeah, they have actual grass textures now instead of just a flat green texture.
It could be in the areas too. It could be the screenshot because if you're looking at the jungle one, there's areas where the grass is shooting up and there's areas where it's just flat. And it could be when they zoomed in on certain characters when they're showing off the hub that it was just flat grass behind them, but just happened to be at that time. Let's see. What was the? Oh, we're going back to Nico Futterman. And what was the show you're talking about?
The game?
Yeah, the game you were talking about.
I actually found out. It's actually Pandora.
Oh, Pandora. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it has in Pandora's box. All right.
No, but she's she's not really a box. It's just a like. Well,
when you unleash Pandora's box, then that's what happens.
Yeah. But I'm kind of surprised when I'm kind of surprised actually usually did had an actual body in the past.
Or in this case, an app.
An app. Huh.
Well, she was also Miserable in Shadow of Illusion. Castle of Illusion with Mickey Mouse.
Mm.
I ever get to interview her. I want to talk to her about Saji Ventress. That was one of my favorite characters on the.
I was kind of surprised she actually did the voice of Olga Pataki from Hey Arnold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and she was in a few Ratchet and Clank games too. So she did the voice of Zircon Jr. from Into the Nexus when they had the whole Zircon family.
Oh goodness.
That was pretty awesome. I remember that one. Let's see. Well, the other news is the Sonic Boom toys are now out. You can get them at your local Toys R Us, and I think on Tommy's website there's a page that has all the toys available for purchase. The price range is actually fairly reasonable, with single figures starting off at $5.96. They don't really come with anything; they're just like in a running pose. I got the whole set with me. When I was looking at the single figures, there was like 2 or 3 Sonics and 2 Knuckles, and only one sticks, and she only comes in a single pack. So it could be like they do for a lot of female figures in the boys' toy category, where there's like just one or so of the girls in each case, which makes them a little harder to find because they feel, the females don't really appeal as much. But then again, you have the 2-packs, which are $7.99, only $2 more than the singles. And the primary one they have a lot of is Sonic and Amy.
Hey, Jason.
And, yeah.
Do you have the plushie that's the multi-language plushie?
No, I was actually by Toys R Us earlier after work today. I was checking that out because for some reason all the ones at our store only talk in French. I was trying to figure out a way to fix that, and you kind of got to molest the poor guy a little bit. There's the button on his chest is what makes the button on his chest is what makes him talk, and there's a tiny button on the bottom of his butt that you pressed.
Oh boy!
So he talks in English, Spanish, and French. I actually kind of like the Spanish one.
I know, I like the Spanish one better.
No me cansará estar de huevo.
De Chile. Yeah, he talks in a really deep voice. Hello, I am the Sonic. Whatever. And let me see. The 2-packs, like I said, $7.99. It's Sonic and Amy. They only come with a little what the hell is the name of that zapper leash they keep showing off? Innerbeam. They come with a blue Innerbeam. No hammer for Amy, sadly. Then there's one with Knuckles and Tails, so I had to buy Knuckles twice because I bought him originally with a skateboard vehicle because I didn't know about the 2-pack. Which, by the way, I think I'm going to decide I got an extra Sonic and an extra Knuckles. I think I'll give them away on the show to some lucky listener so I can get some extra hits. Anyway, and Knuckles looks good. All of the figures have slightly turnable heads. They don't have bendable elbows, which is okay because then you get that Jazzware's giant muscle on the middle of their elbow thing.
But how's the quality of it?
Yeah, the quality of them are all right. The paint job isn't the best on all of them. It lacks a little bit of detail. There's still a little bit of a bump on the shoulder of all the characters because their shoulders can move 360 degrees. But the paint job looks good on like Eggman. He's got the pink nose and everything. For some reason, Sonic on certain figures, the white of his eyes bleeds onto his muzzle. On a lot of them, I had a hard time finding. I originally got Sonic with Burnbot, and I had a hard time finding a Sonic that didn't have white bleeding off into his muzzle. That's an interesting thing also. Sonic with Burnbot has a frown on his face, while Sonic with Amy has a big, mischievous grin. So there's 2 head molds for Sonic.
I think I'll stick with my Nandroid Sonic. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I think I know why he's got the smirk, because for some reason both the lack of paint job on both Amy and Marine, for some stupid reason, they don't have any panties underneath.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they don't even paint them on any underwear for the poor girls.
Oh, wow.
Well then.
They're both going commando.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, Jason, we'll stick with the good smile Nandroids, thanks.
Really?
The only reason why, not only because they're better quality, but you can actually change the faces.
Yeah.
Now, are they doing Nandroids of all the Sonic Boom characters?
I wish.
I wish.
Yeah, just classic Sonic, right?
It's a hybrid mix. It's a small Nandroid, but they use the modern Sonic.
Yeah, the only thing I had a really bad experience with was Cubot and Orbot. They're basically PVC figures. They can't move their joints at all. They're just in a particular pose. And the ones I bought, I guess they got crushed in the package because they were all kind of bent over and everything, all twisted. I can't get them to stand up too well. I've been trying to bend them back into their original pose ever since. In fact, with Cubot, I got to use these little Lego pieces that, fortunately, are hard to see to keep his head up. And even he could fall over, and he's a freaking cube, and he could still fall over from time to time. Amazingly, Burnbot can stand up on his own, even though his legs are 2 wheels, but his claws, as long as you keep one of his claws down, that gives him a ability to stand pretty good. His little technique is if you have the Sonic with the little spin dash roller, you roll Sonic into him and he can bust apart, explode. The best one is definitely for me is Eggman in the Eggmobile. The Eggmobile is all nice and detailed, and Eggman himself also looks great. They did a lot of detail to him on that, especially like the pink on his nose and everything is just right. So he looks really good. Overall, I mean, it's not really that much better than as far as quality goes over Jazzware stuff, but it's reasonably priced. I mean, for $8 at Toys R Us, you're getting 2 figures. That's not bad at all. But with Eggman, you have to get one of the vehicle sets, and that goes for like $13. And then with Burnbot and Sonic together is $19.99. The biggest ripoffs are there's a Sonic with the spin dash wheel he can go into, where there's also a little jungle setting, and you stick him in that. You wind it up and you shoot him out, and that thing goes for $30, which is way too pricey.
So
There's
how much are the plushies?
The smaller plushies start, I think, at $12, and then the talking one, which is probably the best value, is $20, and he's quite a bit bigger.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
Not
20.
bad.
It's quite a bit bigger, and he talks. I started with the short one because it was the first Sonic Boom toy I could find, but now I kind of regret it. I want the talking one.
I'm definitely gonna get the talking one.
Yeah, and like I said, the vehicle sets are $12.99. What was the other one? Oh, I haven't found it in the stores yet, but there's also Tails with his plane, the Tornado. That it seems like it could hold him and like 2 or 3 other characters, and that one's also $30. So that and the Jungle are the most expensive ones. But the other ones are pretty reasonably priced. I mean, $20 for a like talking plush. That's not bad at all. That's pretty decent. Let's see now. Also coming up on the 3DS, November 4th, is a Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal demo. I think they tend to have a lot more confidence in that particular Sonic Boom game over Rise of Lyrics.
Oh, yes.
I think it showcased a lot better at the shows. You know, it's not that I hate Rise of Lyrics. It's just I've played it like 3 times and I still don't know what to think of it as overall. I think there's a lot missing from that game as far as E3 demos that really you can't really get a good grasp of that. But Sonic Boom Shattered Crystals, I mean, I actually have enjoyed that quite a bit. It does have a lot of new elements. It's got that Metroidvania like maze kind of thing, but it still has some more classic Sonic elements to it. Boosting, doing loop-to-loops, doing jumps, homing attacks, all that good stuff.
Doesn't scream cash in.
Does it what? Doesn't scream cash. Yeah. Well, it doesn't feel. It feels less like a licensed game, kind of like Rise of Lyrics does. But they are. I know they're working hard on that game. But they could. So I feel kind of bad, talking that down when you know that they've really put their heart and soul into Rise of Lyric. And while the U.S. may be getting Sonic Boom cartoon on November 8th, Europe is getting delayed until autumn of 2015, almost a full year later.
Wow. No, it's a bad move.
You know those Europeans are going to start torrenting that.
Yep, mass piracy.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's got to be some pirating there. And though everyone's talked about it on the Sonic Stadium forums, no one's really sure why it is, whether it was on Cartoon Network side, Sega, I'm seriously doubtful, but Sega of Europe's side, or just something with the way English broadcasting is. I mean, I think so was Sonic X delayed a year as well, or close to it?
I have no idea.
I can't recall anything
about that I thought I heard something about that on the forums. I think that was for more certain local channels.
Isn't that from the Metarex series?
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's like the only series that never been aired in Japan, but outside, like in France and Europe, and here in the US, like we had it aired.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, even Middle East and a lot of other areas are still getting Sonic Boom at the end of the year or early next year before UK. The UK's got a pretty strong, Sonic fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Europe in general too.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really shocking that it's taking that long. But anyway, so people have always been wondering about the marketing, why they haven't heard of marketing, and I think we know why. Is they're wanting to just kind of crowd everything together for the release. I mean, we started seeing in New York, they got Sonic Boom taxis you can take. They premiered the show in Cannes at the Cannes Festival, which you can see some images from at the Sonic Stadium forum. They finally have like the official high definition images of that, including the sketches they were originally planning for it. Some of which are kind of funny. You got Amy putting on her lipstick, except it's all over the place, and you got Styx actually eating the car seats. And then they changed it around. The only one who didn't change it all is Eggman, who was still hanging on to the back of the limo.
Poor guy.
Yeah, and so we got, let me see, the comic book coming out the 29th. Then we got the cartoon on November 8th. And then 3 days later, we got the 2 video games on November 11th.
Oh, my poor wallet.
Yeah. All right, I got to finish pre-ordering mine.
Yeah, let's not forget that the Sonic games are coming out a few days before Smash, when it's going to become D-Day.
Oh,
I wonder
dear.
if the 3DS Smash is going to affect the Wii U sales at all.
No, actually, well, I don't think so, because what I read in an article of Hyrule Warriors, it actually did help on the Wii U sales. So on the Sonic Boom, not really sure. It's kind of
It's 50-50 at this point.
yeah,
But we
but
did know,
definitely the Smash Bro, definitely.
yeah, because from that same article, it boosted up a few Wii U sales because it was a really well presented game for Hyrule.
Hyrule.
Thank you. And then, and I got tongue twisted. Then, for the players who specifically waited for Smash to get a Wii U, they're gonna buy it that same either a week before or a couple of days before Smash.
Yeah, in fact, I'm probably just gonna take my Smash Brothers 3DS copy and trade it up for the Wii U version. Just upgrade it, kind of like that. I think that'd be the best way to go.
Don't tell me you don't want to break your circle pad, right?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I'm worried about is I hear all these reports of broken
Like,
circle pads.
I'm still crossing my finger. My old one doesn't like have the same fate as the other one. I have the bigger one, the XL. I haven't been using that. Well, not since yesterday.
I've already got a big crack on near my R button area where the joints become loose, and I've had to super glue it back together. And I'm trying to make this hold down until the new 3DS comes in America, whenever that is, probably early next year.
Yeah, I'm hearing some good reports and good vibes coming out of that new 3DS. What's really pulling me in is the system loading speed. It's actually faster than the originals.
It says it even downloads faster.
That's actually been proven.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
But doesn't that affect depending on the internet speed you have?
Actually, the guy who did the test, it really didn't, because the new 3DS that he got from Japan, he was comparing it with the US at the same time. So basically, the new 3DS model outperformed and out-downloaded the original 3DS. So it's basically using the same internet provider within in the 3DS.
Ah, dang.
It smoked it.
Wow. I want to buy the new 3DS now.
Yeah, it's got a faster processor to it, so that really affects it quite a bit.
It really does, because I've seen some games that are getting loaded. Boom, it's getting loaded fast.
Oh my gosh. My wallet's gonna hurt after New Year's.
Yeah, I mean, oh god, November's gonna be bad for me. All the good stuff always comes out in November. Actually, this October's pretty bad for me too. I mean, I still got Sunset Overdrive, Fantasia's coming out, but Bayonetta 2, which has been getting nothing but 10s, even on Edge, and Edge is very picky. So I'm definitely gonna get that. I mean, I got an Xbox One pretty much just for Sunset Overdrive because you really sold me on that game.
All glory to Insomniac.
For me, if I were to have an Xbox One, it'd just be for Killer Instinct.
Yeah, I've been playing that game. Actually, I was playing that game earlier today after I got home from work, playing a Spiral, and my hands hurt playing that game because it's all about combos, and it's easy to put together at least a 20-hit combo, but you're constantly mashing your buttons and doing special moves really fast, and it looks spectacular when you do it, but man, it hurts your hands after a while.
Yeah, that's what Killer Instinct is known for.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a shallow game in that respect, but when you're watching it, it just looks so spectacular. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for us. We're starting to go into tangent mode here. If you like the show, just please leave a comment on the Sonic Steam. If you leave comments, we'll post some of them on the next episode. We'll read some of them off. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do a little contest thing for these other two Sonic Boom figures I have of Sonic and Knuckles, and I will even deliver in the UK if you live in the UK, because you poor guys are suffering as far as being Sonic Boomless. a bit. Actually, don't they get their figures at the end of the year?
I
They
believe
get
they,
the toys.
I think they get it in the spring of 2015.
Okay, so here's the deal. The first person to respond to my next trivia question will get the figure. You just have to PM me your address. Well, first post it on the comments section, and I'll PM you if you're the winner. Okay, the trivia question is, there were two characters that appeared before Knuckles appeared, but after Tails appeared. And one of them was not in the video games. One of them was in a different form of media, but it's an official Sega character. And the other person was also in both the other media and in the video games. So name those two characters, and be the first to name those two characters, and I'll send you the 2 action figures. Also, try to send you the little maybe the Sonic Spin Dash wheel, because I don't really need that thing. Alrighty, and that's going to be our show for today. And thank you very much. Anybody else want to say anything?
Smash it all up.
Alright, as always, you can find my reviews and articles here on Sonic Stadium. I also host Sonic Talk on SegaBits.com monthly with Alex and GX. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you very much. Anybody else want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Hope you have fun at the Sega Bits event on November 22nd if you're attending.
Oh, are you going to that?
Afraid not.
Yeah, I wish I could go, but that's all the way in Georgia, and I just don't have the money.
Adios, chicos.
It's kind of sad because I work at Sega Bits. Hey, goodbye. See you later.